Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel. I'm going to be talking about how to deal with or get over depression, sadness, low points, dips in the road, ruts, or whatever you want to call them. I feel like it's very important to talk about these kind of things because this isn't something that people usually, are open about when they're going through it, but it came to me and it came in my spirit and it came in my heart, so I decided to talk about it today. So when you see me sitting like this with my legs crossed and my little pillow, then you know I'm talking about some real life stuff, child. So let's get straight into the video. First off, I want to talk about what I define as my lowest point in my life, and that was when I was in college. I had 2 semesters left in school and I just felt like I did not know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't know if what I was going to college for is what I wanted to do when I graduated. And at that point, it's like you're supposed to be ready, like, okay, I'm going to conquer the world. I'm going to grab the world by the balls. And that's not how I felt at all. I felt confused. I felt lost. And at the same time as that, I was going through one of the most dramatic breakups of my life with a longtime boyfriend of mine, and we just were dealing with the situation 2 completely different ways. He's a great person and it wasn't abusive or anything like that, but it was just a turning point in my life where I was really forced to learn more about myself and to turn inward and to really dig deep to really find, my strength. So I feel like I needed that time in my life, and I felt like it proved itself to be the biggest experiences that I could have learned from. I gained the most knowledge from it. So yeah. Now I'm gonna get into this like puts me out of breath, but I'm gonna get into the things that I did to help me get over that situation. And I'm gonna be looking at my phone because I took a couple of notes. So the first thing that I would say is to acknowledge and confront the fact that you are going through something. I don't think burying it helps, because when you bury a seed, what does it do? It grows. So even if you turn a blind eye to it today, who knows that it won't manifest itself tomorrow and in an even worse way. So I feel like confront it, say, hey, look to yourself. Look, this is what I'm going through, this is how I feel, and even if it sucks, I'm gonna get through it. So I feel like that's the first thing, is realizing that you have a problem and confronting it and going through those motions. Of course, when you're going through that, I think the initial thing is to just be, throw a pity party, stay home, watch movies, eat chocolate, whatever it is, however it is that you deal with it innately, that's what you're going to want to do. And I feel like go through those motions as long as they're not harmful to anybody else or harmful to yourself. I feel like those are the type of things that you need to go through, and then you finally realize, okay, I need to deal with this a different way. So that would be number 1. Number 2, I would say to use that time to work on yourself. And that might sound like cliche or cheesy or whatever, like work on yourself, you gotta love yourself, but that's really most important. For me, the things that I did were reading and working out. I found good books that could interest me and keep my attention and kind of keep my mind off certain things, and working out was another thing that keeps my mind off certain things, and it's a stress reliever. So just things like that you enjoy doing that can kind of take your mind off of certain stuff, then I would say do those things that make you feel better, without obviously harming yourself or anybody else. So that would be the second thing. And next, I would say take care of yourself. I would run myself bubble baths. I would make sure that I was happy with the way that I looked. Even though it's superficial, it still makes a difference. Making sure I got my nails in and just taking care of myself, doing all those things, mind, body, and soul. I would write poetry. I would work on what I consider my crafts, and just put those things first and put myself first. And those things make me feel better about myself, that I'm paying attention to what it is that I need and I'm catering to me, and I don't have to depend on anybody else for that. And that in itself, to me, made a world of a difference. It's like I was leaning on my own shoulder, and I was there for myself, and that is really the most important bond besides you and God, So that's that. And then the next one I would say is obviously if you believe in a higher power. I personally believe in Jesus Christ. He is my savior, and I would say seek spiritual guidance from whatever entity that is, because it's bigger than you. And I think when you find something that's bigger than you, it puts it in perspective. And it's hard to kind of put it in words, but when you have faith, you know that everything's going to be okay. You know that everything's going to work out in your favor. You know that there's only one you, and you're the only person that can do you like you. So that gives you that confidence to pick up and keep going, and it gives you that strength, and it gives you that purpose. And I feel like a lot of people, when they go through certain depressions and certain low points, is because they've lost their feeling of purpose, and they feel lost. They feel lost in the world, and that's how I felt. I just felt like, where's my place? And there's so many people, what am I supposed to do? And I feel like that's what spiritual guidance did for me. It put things in perspective for me, and it made me realize how important that I was, and how wonderfully and beautifully made I was, and how uniquely made I am. So that gives you that confidence to really feel like, you know what, the world needs me. Out of all people, the world needs me. So yeah. And I think once you find that purpose, I think it's important to help others, and that really gives you even more of a sense of purpose when you know that you're using your purpose to help somebody else. And for me, I joined Black Female Development Circle, and I was the chaplain in my chapter, and I would give inspiration, and I would read quotes and just kind of be like the backbone for my group. And that made me, even though inside I was still feeling lost and confused, that really, 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 really helped me to be like, you know what, there's people out there that need me, and it's bigger than myself. So that really made me feel good, and made me feel even more purposeful that I was using my purpose to help somebody else. And the last thing that I would say is, once you go through those motions and you're finding yourself, at some point you have to let go. You have to let go of your transgressions. You have to let go of the things that are making you feel guilty, or the things that you feel like you didn't do that were good enough. For me, letting go of the guilt of a failed relationship, and it was made to make me feel like it was my fault, and like I had did something wrong, like I wasn't good enough, like I wasn't good enough of a person. And I had to let go of feeling guilty for that. I had to let go of regretting the mistakes that I did and that I made. I had to let go of my mistakes, and I had to forgive myself for the things that I did that weren't so good, and the things that didn't make me feel good about myself. And I had to forgive myself for that, and I had to remind myself that everybody does things that they're not proud of, and everybody falls short, and that's just a part of life. And I just had to remind myself of that, like, everybody goes through it. And when I finally got to that place, and it's like, you know what, Candace, I'm proud of you. And that's where I'm at now. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of all the things that I feel like I've come through. Because after a situation like that, once you get through it, you feel so good about yourself, and you know that you have that strength, especially when it comes from inside and it's not from anybody else. You always have that to rely on. So, whew, Jesus. So that's how I got over my sadness and my depression. I hope it helps somebody. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and make sure you share it with your friends, anybody that you think may need it or might gain something from it. And if you have any suggestions on other videos that I should do, please let me know, and I would be happy to do them for y'all. See y'all next time. Love you.
You don't know. Bad man.